an ain't shit partner who treats you like trash and you still keep coming home every single day, right? That's passive pain because it hurts and it's going to keep on hurting, right? Yeah. And it's not going to change. But productive pain is when you choose to leave that partner. Yes, it's going to be agonizing to leave that person. And yes, it's going to be very hurtful to you to get over it. But it's productive pain because productive pain turns to power. Eventually, that pain is going to turn into something where it's going to turn to power. It's going to allow you to heal. And then eventually, you will be able to elevate yourself and evolve to connect with someone better. Starting with connect with a better relationship with yourself.
No matter where you come from or what challenges you face, remember that you have the power to transform your life. We're bringing you the most inspiring stories and voices from authors who are indeed powerful forces for the culture in their work. These interviews will keep you believing in yourself, inspire you to keep pushing forward, and most importantly, never ever stop dreaming. It's your boy, Uncle Kolby, and this is the Kolby Kulture Show. Yo, Kolby Kulture fam, what's good? It's your favorite uncle, Uncle Kolby, back with another great episode of the Kolby Kulture Show. Today, we're bringing the heat with an incredible guest, Malcolm M.J. Harris, who's here to talk about his life, his new book, and how you can get out of your own way. But first, let's hit this week's literary drop. This week's literary drop is The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl by the amazing Issa Rae. Issa keeps it real, hilarious, and raw as she takes us through her journey of navigating life as an awkward Black girl. From laugh out loud moments to deeply relatable struggles, Issa's storytelling is both engaging and inspiring. If you're looking for a book that's equal parts funny and thought-provoking, this is it. Check out the full review on my website, djacobywashington.com, ahead of next week's episode. This has been this week's literary drop. All right, let's give a warm welcome to the phenomenal Malcolm M.J. Harris. MJ is an internationally recognized media personality, entrepreneur, producer, and lifestyle and business influencer, endorsed by Oprah, USA Today, Tabitha Brown, and Black Enterprise. With over a decade of experience, he's inspired over 5 million followers with his in-your-face, uplifting advice. From fixing relationships and money issues to offering sage advice on getting your life together, MJ's straightforward and hilarious approach has made him a powerhouse in the self-improvement industry. Everybody, Kolby Kulture fam, I want to welcome to the Kolby Kulture Show, MJ Harris. What's up, sir? Up, you're on mute.
It's such a pleasure to be here, Kolby.
I'm glad to have you. Come on, sir. No, I'm super excited to have you here today. Listen, I put the word out that you were coming to the Kolby Kulture Show, and the people went crazy. I got so many messages about how you have inspired their life, how they were trying to participate in your programs, and how questions just came through. So I'm super excited to have you. I know that the Kolby Kulture fam is super excited to have you. So again, welcome to the Kolby Kulture Show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It has been a very busy day. And so I'm happy to be busy, happy to be in good health, just happy to be living a good life.
I hear that. So let's jump right into it. Your new book, Get the Fuck Out of Your Own Way, is making waves. What inspired you to write this book, and what do you hope readers will gain from its message?
You know, I will be very transparent with you. I didn't want to write a book to begin at all. And I prefer to do videos. I like being on videos. I like being on stage. And my publisher, Krishan Trotman, who leads up Legacy Lit, she reached out to me several times and said, hey, I really want you to do a book. And I kept saying, no, I'm good. And she kept coming back and kept on making it make more sense. And I started to understand, I was like, you know what? This is something that's important to do, because videos are great. You know, going to see someone on stage is great, but it's something about having a book where you can mark it up and you can reference back to, you can read it while you're sitting on the toilet in the morning. Yes. You know, you got it available to you. Yes. To be able to really lock in the message. And I felt like doing a book would really help people to take in some really important messages in a way that could really memorialize it in their mind in a way that they could implement it.
Yeah, I love that. And surprisingly, every author that I speak to, they say the same thing. I did not become an author, and that's certainly my journey. I write children's books, and I definitely didn't set out to become a children's book author. But hey, life happens, and sometimes we fall into purpose in that way. And so I am grateful for the opportunity to have written a book, and I know that you feel the same way.
Yeah.
So you've built an empire that spans media, finance, and personal development. Tell us about how you stay grounded and manage the balance between these demanding roles.
Well, I think you live long enough, you build enough stuff. In the beginning, you can have all the luster of, oh my God, I've got all this stuff going on. But then after a while, you start to realize that life is still life, and you're still going to have the same opportunities, the same challenges as everyone else, And so I think that my sense of humility within all this is just recognizing that all I can do is my best every day and just keep moving forward from there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Folks, you are listening to the amazing MJ Harris here on the Kolby Kulture Show. We'll get into our audience question and answer in just a little bit. So if you have those questions, drop them in the chat there, and we'll certainly be asking MJ your questions as they come along. So MJ, your book speaks a lot about overcoming personal obstacles. Can you share a pivotal moment in your life when you had to get out of your own way and how that transformed your path?
Ooh, I think definitely being in the entertainment industry. Business is war at times. Business is difficult at times, and entertainment is a business. It is what it is. And I think that for me, one of the ways I've learned to get out of my own way was to stop being a people pleaser, because I took that into this industry, and in becoming more successful, more visible, and so on, I attracted around me, or just because it's a natural thing that happens, attracted around me at various different points in time, people who were, had the moral character of mosquitoes. You know what I mean? And so one of the ways I had to learn to get out of my own way was to stop being a people pleaser, to not just have my discernment, but to apply my discernment. When I feel that something isn't right, don't move forward with it. Don't work with that person, cut off that person, whatever it may be. So I think that that's probably been one of the biggest ways I've had to learn to get out of my way, out of my own way, has been learning to trust myself and to stop being a people pleaser.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. You talk about, not just having discernment, but applying that discernment. I think so many of us, we say that, we're able to discern, the intentions behind an individual and their interest or whatever it is, but we don't apply that discernment to our lives. And so I think that application piece makes the world of difference. Yeah. So you talked about, or you've been very open rather about your relationship with your mom. So I read the book. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Actually, I read it in 2 days. So it's a very great read. But I loved how you were, again, very transparent about your relationship with your mother and and then you talked a lot about the power of sharing one's story. So can you talk a bit about how has transparency and vulnerability shaped your success and connection with your audience?
One of the things my mother would always say, because my mother has been very open, even within her own book, about the fact that she's overcome addiction and overcome different things within her life that a lot of people have had to overcome as well. And one thing she always say was that there's only shame in your secrets. And so within my entire path of being on camera for almost 16 years now, I've chosen to be open about the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows of life, and what I've found is that it has resonated with people who, even if their experience is not the same as my experience, transparency resonates with people because people feel authentically connected to you. It builds trust there as well. It allows you to create a space for healing. And so for me, I just really, I just feel like I'm not someone who became famous and wanted to be famous, nor can I say that I've genuinely enjoyed the experience of going out into the world. People know my face. I don't really care for that experience. And so for me, the way that I said the only way I can survive in this experience of having work that's celebrated is I got to be transparent. I got to be able to be me, because this is too difficult to deal with some of the stuff that comes with this while also having to navigate through this inauthentically. So a part of it is also medication for myself, so to speak, right? It's medicine for myself to be able to allow me to feel empowered, to feel comfortable going through this very surreal experience of being in front of millions of people.
I love that. I love that because you did. I'm certain that you are engaging with folks that are not their most authentic self. And so like you deal with so many people that are fake and phony. And so to have someone that's genuinely authentic, that's transparent, that makes that, I guess that creates a level of relatability. And so I know.
And it scares away the riffraff. There's one of the things about being an authentic person is the narcissists of the world, the manipulators of the world, all those people, they generally don't fare very well around very authentic people because their deep down insecurity is that you will see them for who they are. And the more authentic you are, the more they will fear that you will see them as they are. And so I think that you actually protect yourself more by living in your authentic space because you repel away people who are inauthentic and you attract the people who are authentic.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. In your book, you discuss the concept of passive pain versus productive pain. Tell us about that. And then how can readers identify these types of pain in their own lives? And why is it crucial to embrace the productive pain?
That is one of my favorite subjects in the world is passive pain versus productive pain. With passive pain, one of my things that I talk about is passive pain is the whole idea of going through pain that is going to continue unless you do something about it. Passive pain is coming home every day to an ain't shit partner who treats you like trash and you still keep coming home every single day, right? That's passive pain because it hurts and it's going to keep on hurting, right? Yeah. And it's not going to change. But productive pain is when you choose to leave that partner. Yes, it's going to be agonizing to leave that person. And yes, it's going to be very hurtful to you to get over it. But it's productive pain because productive pain turns to power. Eventually, that pain is going to turn into something where it's going to turn to power. It's going to allow you to heal. And then eventually you will be able to elevate yourself and evolve to connect with someone better, starting with connect with a better relationship with yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Productive pain, folks. And you talked about sitting with that pain too, like sitting in that moment and not, self-medicating. And you talked a lot about like drinking and how some of us oversex, like we smoke and do all these different things to kind of temporarily pacify this pain, but we don't take the time to sit with the pain. That thing was amazing to me. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said for sitting with your pain. I think that the reality is that really when it comes down to it, life hurts. Life hurts. Stuff is going to happen at some point in time. You're going to go through heartbreak. You're going to go through pain. You're going to go through depression. You're going to go through whatever it may be. And if you're not willing to experience the pain that you're going through, then guess what? You're not going to also get the lesson. I can tell you this. I've gone through some of the most hurtful experiences in my life. I've gone through some very hurtful experiences. And in the moments I allow myself to sit with the pain, and that doesn't mean dwell on it, but allow myself to not try to suppress it or numb it away. Yeah. Those are the most helpful moments for me because sometimes it was allowing myself to just sit, and sometimes I already just hate somebody. Like, I really hate you and what you did to me. It then inspired me to say, well, what I need to do to protect myself from anything like this ever happening again. And that elevated my sense of discernment. That elevated how I operated my businesses and everything like that. Because like, a snake got in here. Okay, how do we make sure that we block off the little spaces where a snake can get in here in the future? Oh, that person came and broke my heart. How do we make sure that we identify those signs earlier? When you don't allow yourself to feel your pain, you also don't allow yourself to experience the power that comes from your pain, which is allowing you to identify how it happened in the first place so that you can evolve and grow to prevent it from happening again.
Yeah, so good. So good. So therapy played a significant role in your life. So for somebody that's struggling to decide if they should start therapy or not, what advice would you give them?
Do it. You should have did it a long time ago. But do it.
That part.
I think that therapy is not just for crazy people. It's for anyone who wants to heal and heal quickly. Can you get through your stuff without therapy? I'm sure you probably could, but we have a very finite amount of time on this earth, and none of us are guaranteed how long that's going to be. So with the time that you have left on this earth, you want to spend as much time as possible living within your full authentic healed being,
Yeah.
rather than trying to get to that point. And to me, therapy helps you to get to that point much faster.
Yeah.
So you have that much more time in your life to actually live within a healed space.
Yeah, I love that. You talked about how therapy had given you the tools that you needed to, I think you said communicate. I'm trying to remember the quote. Communicate your what you want, communicate what you desire. And then you talked a bit about like how sometimes we exacerbate our trauma through these situations. Talk about that. It was so much in the book.
Yeah, I mean, for me, therapy gave me the language to be able to communicate with myself about my own feelings. Sometimes I think that we struggle so much to even work through what we're going through and to stop the same patterns because we can't even communicate with ourselves. Yeah. Like, how do I end up in the same kind of relationships over and over again? Because you don't know how to communicate with yourself about the fact that this doesn't work for you and that you have bad discernment or that you don't listen to your discernment, whatever it may be. So therapy gave me the language on how to communicate myself. It also gave me the language on how to communicate boundaries. I was at this point in my life, I have no problems with telling you a boundary, telling you what I don't like, telling you what I do like, telling you what I want, what I don't want. Yeah. Okay. Therapy taught me how to prioritize myself because through helped me to enhance the relationship and the conversation that I have with myself. It allowed me to get to know myself better. Like, oh, you really don't like that. Or, oh, you just tolerate that. Or, oh, whatever it may be. Oh, you're a people pleaser when it comes to that. So then I can start seeing the triggers. I'll give you an example. The other day I was out someplace. And the person who I was out with, I'm not going to call them a friend. They're not a friend. They are not a friend. They lost that title. And so we were out and this person had done a series of really annoying, inconsiderate things. Which I kind of peeped in the past, like, okay, I don't like that shit. And then so we were supposed to be hanging out all night, going to different places. Let me tell you what I did. When they did this third thing, I peeped it. And guess what therapy taught me I could do? Therapy taught me that my feelings are real and I could leave places that don't work for me. So you know what I did right then and there? I pulled out this here phone. And I went there and he said, what you doing? I said, going to Uber. He said, what you doing? I said, going home. You leaving early? I sure am. Wait, why? Bye. I don't have to have a conversation with you about why I'm doing what I'm doing because I already had the conversation with myself. Saying I'm not doing this. So therapy taught me that it's okay to say no because it taught me how to identify when I really want to say no in the first place.
Woo, folks, go to therapy. Get these tools so that you can have that language to communicate what you want, what you will accept, what you will not accept. This is amazing. Folks, I'm talking to the amazing MJ Harris here. He is dropping gems and nuggets all over the place. We're talking about his new book, Get the Fuck Out of Your Own Way, a guide to letting go of the shit that's holding you.
You got to say fuck harder than that because you be when you say get the fuck.
You know, my children's book out. Get the fuck out of your own way. There we go. Again, a guide to letting go of the shit that's holding you back. It's an amazing, amazing read. So MJ, I ask every guest author that joins the Kolby Kulture Show this question. And it is, every creative has their own space that fuels their inspiration. What does your creative space look like and how does it influence your work?
The ocean. I live by the ocean. And so I literally, like, when I'm thinking of something creative, I'm thinking what to do, I literally will go outside and I will just walk up and down near the water. It doesn't have to be an ocean. It could be a lake. It could be a river. It could be a pond. You know what I mean? Some fountain. It doesn't matter. It's going to be near water. And I walk and I'm thinking about it and I'm listening to music. So mine is water and music. I got one earbud in so I can hear what's going on around me because I'm outside. Right. And I'm listening and I'm thinking about whatever it is. I get some of my most creative work done when I'm walking. I use a voice note recorder or whatever. And I'm like, oh, idea number, da-da-da-da-da. It just gets me going. I'm not the person who just sits at a desk and like, let me put together this amazing new business idea. Yeah. I can't do that. You know, I need to be in nature.
I hear that. You say you listen to music. What's your favorite genre?
I like rock. I love rock. I've been on Aerosmith this week. I always loved Aerosmith, but I like Aerosmith, Journey, Styx. Oh my goodness. I like 80s arena rock. And then outside of that, I like pop. I love good old 90s pop, rather Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. Of course, you know, if I'm going to come into this decade, is definitely Beyonce. Beyonce. Like, there's no way around it. Anyone who doesn't like Beyonce is a fucking hater.
Yeah, I hate her.
Okay. I love Beyonce.
Yes. All right. Well, it's time for the Culture Quick Fire. These are quick questions, again, that warrant quick answers. So I want to see how fast you can think of them.
I'm ready.
All right. So first question, favorite book growing up?
The Four Agreements.
One word to describe your journey.
Rough.
Best piece of advice you've ever received.
If they hit you, hit the fuck out of them back.
Ooh, who gave you that one?
Life. I was too nice. I was too caught in that whole vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord, but I forgot that the kingdom of God is within. So with that said, use your kingdom and strike hard.
Let the people free, sir. Yes, that's another favorite place to unwind.
At home.
One thing everyone should try at least one time in their life.
Living in another country.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, I decided that enough was enough. I was tired of life in LA and everything that it attracted, and just all of that. I felt like it took me as far as it needed to take me, so I took that platform and moved elsewhere. And I decided I didn't even know where I was going to go. I didn't know what the plan was. I just knew I didn't want to be there anymore. And it's been the best experience. You know, I'm learning a new language at this point in my life. I have been able to just step into a whole new chapter of my life. And when I left, you know, I went through some difficult things. I lost my grandmother, and it's been such a beautiful thing to experience such big challenges, but experience it in a different place, you know? And so it's been fantastic for me. For me, it's been really good.
Most inspiring person in your life?
Me. I inspire myself. I am a resilient person. I've been through every up, every down, everything you can imagine, you know, and for me, I look at myself, I'm like, you know, God damn it, you went through a whole lot of shit, but you get up every morning, you do what you got to do. It does nothing stops you. And I admire that about myself. And if I can teach that to my children, to anyone, it's just that get the fuck up and keep punching.
Keep punching. Go-to self-care activity?
Jogging. Jogging. I listen to music and I think. I jog by the water. That's my self-care activity because it gives me a chance to think while still being physical.
Last one, dream collaboration.
Of course, Oprah.
I hear that. Love it. Well, thank you for indulging us in the Kolby Culture Quick Fire. Folks, again, I'm talking to MJ Harris here. Again, he's been dropping gems. We just did the Kolby Culture Quick Fire. And it's now time for audience interaction. So if you have a burning question that you want to ask MJ, drop it in the chat and we'll be certain to ask him. But as I shared earlier, the folks were super excited that you were going to be on the Kolby Culture Show today.
I was so excited too. When I got your invite, I was like, this is amazing. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, I appreciate it. So they sent questions ahead of time. So we got some questions that have come through already. But again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. First question, MJ, what's the biggest challenge you faced in your career and how did you overcome it?
The people. The people, not the fans, The fans have been amazing. The people in the business side of the industry, you know, when you are a visible person, unfortunately, as a Black visible person, you attract a lot of people who are on the whole my brother thing, and they try to manipulate their way into your space and into your whatever they perceive as your abundance through that connection. And I think that was probably one of the biggest challenges was this fear of almost survivor's remorse. But because I got out and I made it ahead, that it's my responsibility to help people, not understanding that some people don't deserve to be helped. Some people need to stay where they are. Some people are viruses that whatever they touch, they'll destroy. And so recognizing that you made it out because of your work ethic and you should never help anyone else unless they reflect the same work ethic as you.
Do you have any tips for young aspiring entrepreneurs?
I do. My tip for a young aspiring entrepreneur would be forget about passion. You're in this for profit, okay? And there's a way to get to the passion eventually. But you got to figure out what is it that people are willing to buy from you, or what is it you can get access to that people are willing to buy. Sell what people want. If you live in a community where selling Tic Tacs is going to work, and find a way to get Tic Tacs wholesale and sell those, right? You need to sell what people want. And then the profit that you make from that, then you invest that in something you're more passionate about. I find that a lot of entrepreneurs are way too focused on passion prematurely. And then they end up exhausting their resources trying to create a passion business that may not necessarily be very profitable immediately. And then they burn out before they can move into something profitable. I say do it that way around. Profit with passion.
Yeah, that's such good advice. Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. You talk to a lot of people and they say, hey, you want to allow your passion to drive you. But I think that the advice that you just gave is real. Like if you don't have the income coming in, the resources coming in, and you're exhausting all of your resources and the money that you have, then you're gonna burn out. So I think
that's like the insurance industry. I mean, the reality is I hated my job. And if you asked me all those years ago, would I want to sell life insurance and talk to people about dying? No, that was not what I wanted to do. I don't know what the dream was at that point in time, but it was something that was other than selling life insurance. But when I really thought about it, I was like, well, hold on, everybody's going to die. And if you can explain insurance clear enough, most people will buy it from you.
Yeah.
And so if everyone needs your product and it's not a very hard thing to sell, why don't I do that and then use the money from that to invest into what I am more passionate about, which is ultimately how I grew my platforms. The money I made from life insurance, I invested it into my platform, so that I could then grow this.
Yep. What's the most surprising thing you learned about yourself through your journey?
The most surprising thing I've learned about myself is that I would say that I am courage. I have a lot of courage. I'm very courageous. Someone told me that the other day. They said if you can go to a whole other country by yourself, not knowing the language, and still choose to go and build a life there, that takes courage. And I thought that about myself. I was like, I've done that. I'm doing that. When I arrived in the country that I live in, I don't talk about the country where I live in, but when I arrived here, I didn't know the language. I could not even say hello. Trying to get through customs or whatever to get into the country, I had to download Google Translate because I was like, what if they ask me a question I don't know the answer to? Right now, I don't have, and to have, come and start building a life and everything like that. I'm a courageous person. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things when we allow ourselves to go through challenges. Yeah. And when we choose not to flake out when a challenge comes into our life, we start to build up our courage, because courage is the muscle. And we start to realize, damn, I can get through anything. And no matter what anybody throws your way, you'll be fine. So you're not afraid of the uncertainties of life because you'll be fine. And I think that's one of the things I'm so happy I learned about myself and allowed myself to cultivate is my courage.
That's amazing. How do you stay motivated when times get tough?
Money. We gotta pay bills. I'm just saying, you gotta pay bills.
Yes.
That's the greatest motivation. I'm not independently wealthy. I've gone through highs and lows in this career. God knows I've had to think about bankruptcy multiple times. I've gone through it. I've gone through everything that you can imagine. And so with that said, the motivation when things are going bad is, well, shit, I don't want these to keep on going bad. I need to be able to keep a roof over my head, so that'll get me going. When things are going well, I'm like, well, this shit feels good. Let's keep this going. Keep going. I didn't come from, we didn't have much money when I was growing up. We just didn't. And so with the background that I came from, financial stability became my motivation. Yeah.
Love that. So it's game time. I appreciate you answering some of the questions that came through from our audience members. But this is my favorite part of the show. It's called the Kolby Culture Word Wave. And so I'll say a word and you respond with the first word or thought that comes to mind related to your life, and your work. All right. And it just so happens that the first word is courage.
Abundance. Can't get abundance without courage.
Yeah. Success.
Happiness.
What do you mean by that? Like, tell me more.
Well, to me, I've had to learn that success is not defined by the things I thought it was defined by. Money is great. If you're not making money what you're doing, then it's hard to consider that as a success. But no matter what material things you're getting out of it, if it doesn't come with happiness, it's not real success.
Fear.
It's an illusion. Okay, illusion. Illusion. Fear is an illusion. It's powerless. It's a dog with no teeth. Yeah, I'm afraid. Who cares this shit if you're afraid? Get the fuck up and do it anyway. Let me tell you this. My mother was probably the one who helped me out the most with that. Or I'm afraid. I'll be afraid to go on stage. I think my mom was low-key a little bit of a stage mom. She put us on stage, all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate her for it. So I say in the most positive way possible, right? Mm-hmm. But there was no such thing as saying, I'm too afraid to get on this stage. I'm too afraid to get on camera. No, please, get up and do it anyway. You're afraid. She always say, your feelings are not fact. Feelings are not fact. But anyway.
Yeah. Love that. Change.
Inevitable. Mm-hmm. Change is inevitable. You need to prepare for it. Mm-hmm. The business planning I'm doing today is planning for what's going to happen in the business next year, right? What's going to happen in the business next decade. The plan I'm building my life now is planning what's going to happen in my life. I'm almost 40, and so it's planning what's going to happen in my life next decade, right? It's inevitable, and these people live in the moment, and I just hope that it all works out. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. So you say prepare for it. What advice would you give somebody that says, hey, I don't know where to start. I know that change is inevitable, but how do I even start to prepare for the next phase of my life?
Well, I'm a money man. I think about money. And so I look at what are your income sources? Mm-hmm. And if those were to go away tomorrow, how would you replace them? Mm-hmm. And if you don't have an answer to that question, then you need to start planning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Look at the people in your life, your love, your husband, your wife, your whoever, your spouse. Mm-hmm. If something didn't work out with this or they were to go, because maybe it's a little rocky. We all know that our shit is rocky. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a little rocky. And I know we don't want it to go, but what if it did? You see what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the things that helps combat fear as well, because sometimes when people are really afraid, even when I'm afraid of something, I ask myself, in the worst case scenario that what I'm afraid of happens, what would I do? Start planning for that. Not that it's going to happen, but what happens if I have a backup plan, the fear don't mean shit no more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you prepare for the inevitability of change or the possibility of change, you ain't got nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah. So good. Inspiration.
Inspiration? Houses. I like beautiful houses. I'm not a shoe person. I'm not a car person. Could get the fuck about a car. Not really a clothes person, but I love a beautiful home. Yeah. That's what inspires me. Even now, because I don't live in the biggest home on earth, but I'll go to a beautiful open house or something like that to inspire me for the week ahead.
Passion.
Love. I don't want love with no passion. Don't give me no boring love. I need passion with my love, baby.
Yes. Freedom.
This is not one word. It's a hyphenated word. Debt free. I don't know how you have freedom if you're in debt. And I've been in debt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you're not going, I've never had debt in my life. I know what that is like. Because I know that one of the things that gave me the freedom to be able to consider moving outside the States was the fact that that I was comfortable in my financial circumstances to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who want to live a different kind of life, but because they're tied into debt or because they're tied into whatever, they can't experience freedom.
If you knew then what you know now, what advice would you give for newcomers to avoid?
Newcomers to avoid? Trust your instincts more than you trust anybody else. They don't know shit. They don't know a motherfucking thing. Some of the worst mistakes I've made in business was behind letting the wrong people in and then taking their advice. I've done that in many spaces, right? I've done that. I had to do it a couple times to get the point. They don't know shit. And whatever you don't know, guess what you can do? You can go find someone else who does know, who's qualified. At this stage in my life, my business, I'm an isolationist with my business. I don't need no business partners. I don't need no business collaborators. If I need you, I'll find you. And if you're an expert, I'll contract you to get exactly what I need. And then that's it, baby. I'm a one night stand kind of guy when it comes to business. We ain't got to get married. You see what I'm saying? Just get what I need. I'm going to give you what you need, and we going to keep it moving. And so with that said, there are so many consultants and great people out here that if I knew then what I knew now, I would stand within what I know and go out and get knowledge as needed from experts. But I would not, don't muddy the waters by bringing people into your fold thinking you don't know enough. You know enough. You can guide the ship, and whatever you don't know, you can figure out.
Last one, growth.
I don't think growth is inevitable. It's not inevitable. You can stay exactly as the fuck you are. People think, it's inevitable. He'll grow up eventually. No, the fuck he won't. He'll grow up if he chooses to grow up. You are not going to always grow. Some people are destined to stay the same and fucking decline. So if someone's showing you that they are not ready for you or they're not ready to be a good addition to your life, get them the fuck out of your life immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's showing you what they are. Now, they're going to grow. They're going to change. No, the fuck they're not. They're going to stay exactly as the fuck they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And you're wasting your time to experience life by waiting on somebody to grow up or to change.
Absolutely.
So you miss out on tons of opportunity.
Yeah, you miss out. I mean, people say, well, everyone's capable of growing. People waited for you to grow. Well, that was their fucking fault. And I'm sure that was a funky ride. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you need to get people who can meet you where you are and vice versa.
Yeah. So good. MJ, thank you for sharing your incredible journey and wisdom with us today. Your story of resilience, transparency, and getting out of your own way is beyond inspiring. Any parting words for our viewers? And then tell us how we can stay updated on all that you're doing.
My parting words is get my book. Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Let's get the book. This is my book. Get my book. Get the fuck out of your own way. It's available where books are sold. And I did the audio version. So if you want to hear me up in your ear, all right, get the audio version. But you can go to my page, www.mjharrisspeaks.com, which is the same social media handle everywhere, MJ Harris Speaks. I'm not on Twitter because they got a lot of stuff going on over there. All right, I'm elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But every other platform I'm on, MJ Harris Speaks, and you can get me over there. And just know you can change your life. You can change life into whatever you want if you are willing to just do it. And don't wait to be courageous. Who gives a fuck if you got courage? Who gives a fuck if you're afraid? Do it while your knees are shaking, baby. Do it while your hands are sweating. Just fucking do it. You got one life to live, baby. And if you are conscious enough on your deathbed to be able to look back on your life, one thing I don't want you to do is look back with regret. So get the fuck out of your own way so you can start living the life you desire and deserve.
Love it. MJ, thank you again so much. This has been absolutely amazing. To all of my Kolby Kulture fam, let this be your reminder that your potential is limitless. Embrace your struggles, face your fears head on, and always strive to be the best version of yourself. Remember, starting August 7th, the Kolby Kulture Show will be available wherever you stream your podcast. So make sure you're plugged in to stay updated on all things Kolby Kulture. And we've got some major announcements coming in August, so keep it locked right here. Follow us on all social platforms at Kolby Kulture Show and tune in next week for another lit episode. Remember, whatever you do, always keep it Kolby Kulture. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow the show wherever you listen to your podcast. Watch and subscribe on YouTube, and please feel free to give us a 5-star rating. See you on the next one.